Despite Trump literally reportedly saying, quote, "They won't shut the F up about it," about Epstein, Trump privately vented, referring to conservative influencers and media types lashing out over the Epstein memo. It's not going away. And actually, time has passed by such that mainstream outlets, that quote was from the Rolling Stone, mainstream outlets are able to do their own reporting and dig up more anecdotes to re-emphasize why maybe Trump's bias here is informed by self-interest. Rick Wilson posted, "Hard to express how badly this is going to blow back on Trump. 1,000 new witnesses and possible sources. FBI agents were told to flag any Epstein records that mentioned Trump," according to Senator Dick Durbin. And so that comes from the CNBC reporting, and he's pressing, why were personnel told to flag records in which President Trump was mentioned as he's investigating this, and the FBI declined to comment. So as that's happening, Trump's saying, why the F are they still talking about it? He's screaming about it. He's panicking. He's freaking out. You should have more and more reporting. It's not going away, but it's being talked about more. This New York Times piece examined some of the anecdotes surrounding Epstein and Trump and had one that I'd never heard that is really gross. "She's not here for you. The encounter with Mr. Trump," Miss Farmer said, and Miss Farmer is an Epstein accuser. That's Maria Farmer. It was the summer of 1996 when Maria Farmer went to law enforcement to complain about Jeffrey Epstein. And in those law enforcement interviews, she brought up something that made her feel really bad about Trump, and she encouraged law enforcement, look into Trump too, and other powerful associates. Occurred in 1995 as she was preparing to work for Mr. Epstein. She said she told the authorities that late one night, Mr. Epstein unexpectedly called her to his offices in a luxury building in Manhattan, and she arrived in running shorts. Mr. Trump then arrived wearing a business suit and started to hover over her. She said she told the authorities. Ms. Farmer said she recalled feeling scared as Mr. Trump stared at her bare legs. Then Mr. Epstein entered the room, and she recalled him saying to Mr. Trump, no, she's not here for you." The two men left the room, and Ms. Farmer said she could hear Trump commenting that he thought Ms. Farmer was 16 years old. After her encounter with Mr. Trump, Ms. Farmer said she had no other alarming interactions with him and did not see him engage in inappropriate conduct with girls or women. The White House on Friday said no. Okay, so I had to read the quote. "The president was never in his office. Epstein who? Jeffrey who?" Okay. Ugh. The New Republic notes that's the first reason Trump needs to be worried, even if his name does not appear on some master list created by Epstein with a heading like "good friends of mine who raped underage girls with me." It still has to be the case that there are emails, photographs, and other material that are, at the very least, not going to look good. I couldn't help wondering what Maureen Comey, the sex crime prosecutor in New York Southern District, who was fired by Attorney General Pam Bondi on Wednesday, knows about Epstein and Trump. Again, a lot of this is, I do believe, and I keep reiterating to be as honest and transparent as possible, if there was the bombshell of all bombshells that people are imagining, that people are stating could be there, that it would have come out by now, especially given that this information was something the Biden administration would have been privy to. But just unearthing again a lot of the stories and the, in any capacity, gross and low character behavior that would come out of these that aren't going to be criminal necessarily, but a reminder of just who Trump is and who he hung out with. That alone could be why the FBI was directed to flag Trump stuff and why he's all of a sudden not as pumped about being transparent. Do you want to be really sad though for a second? I've been saying MAGA's freaking over this. Republicans are turning on Trump. And that's true anecdotally. We see a lot of MAGA influencers saying, erg. But Trump's approval rating among Republicans is just getting better.
I mean, look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all of these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down with Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% with Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% with Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started.
Before I react to that, I do want to say, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. It's free. Boom. And then if you want to support in another way, my brothers and I started an energy drink company to solve the problem in our lives, which was that we loved energy drinks. We loved that energy boost, the caffeine, etc. But we knew we were poisoning our body with a lot of the options that are out there on the market. And so we created one where you don't have to feel that guilt. Natural ingredients, live probiotics, benefiting your gut microbiome while also giving you that pep in your step. You can go to drinkpep.com. Drinkpep.com is linked below. And that's, again, not just something I believe in, but also a request to you if you want to support our work. Yeah, put that back on screen for a second, Cole. So this is the Republican Party, right? Trump is mired in all this controversy, and they go, I think what's happening is they're like, I hate this. I want to know more about Epstein, and I'm mad at Trump over it. But the liberals piss me off so much. I still approve of him more. It's like their anger is not as relevant to them as our anger. Guys, stop worrying about us for a second. Judge Trump based on if you think he's actually doing well, just because we're also mad along. I think they were going, yeah, release it. And then we stepped up next to them and went, yeah, release it. And they were like, oh, no, never mind. Trump, you're cool. It's so weird. The own the libs mentality. Because we're angry, I think that's informing this. They're going, And that could be the explanation. Now, don't get confused into thinking that means that his approval rating in general among the country is doing better. You can see here he has a pretty dang low approval rating at 44, at least according to this Nate Silver tracker, 44.1%, and his disapproval rating is up to 52.8%. I was going to show that as like a, see, we're good. But then, so 52? Where's everyone else? It's only 52% of us? Oh no. That's fun. We're having fun. Isn't it great? All right, we got to Democrats need to have a better answer to this question.
But it's true that the president says there, Democrats didn't really seem to do anything about the Epstein files throughout the 4 years of the Biden administration. I mean, should you have? You sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Marsha Blackburn for years has been trying to get flight records and other information about Epstein released, and she seems to have been the only one on that committee trying to do so.
So the president blaming Democrats for this disaster, Jake, is like that CEO that got caught on camera blaming Coldplay, okay? Like, this is his making.
I kind of get it, and I do like the pop culture reference. Pretty good. This is like that CEO having an affair with his HR lady. But I get it. You're blaming Coldplay for... but we need a better answer, you know? Because that is a brutal point. Which is like when Democrats are going, release him. And then they go, wait, y'all had him for years. It's like, ugh. Now there's explanations, ongoing investigations. Now Trump's saying it's concluded. Maybe they weren't going to gratuitously release things if they weren't proof of criminal conduct, but were just kind of gross. And it's fine to say, hey, it was the MAGA campaign that said they were the ones saying this was going to expose the liberal deep state, right? So Trump's in trouble with his own followers. But this is another reason why I told y'all I think we should all just fade into the background for a second. Just weep. Because they are going to feel more sympathetic to Trump the more that we're upset with him, which is weird. But I don't think that's not the most compelling answer. This is going to make sense in a second, but I have this guy named James Craig is on trial for allegedly murdering his wife by poisoning her protein shakes. And just wait, I'm going to connect it back. It's going to make sense in a second. But this is a bonkers story. He's currently on trial. And let me just say, I'm not a lawyer, whatever the caveats are. I haven't kept up with this case a bunch. But in my preliminary reading of it, James Craig looks a will guilty. Okay, is how I would say it. like searching on he had a dental practice on his office computer. How long does it take someone to die after having this certain chemical? Ordering, cyanide. Texting the woman he was having an affair with, don't worry, I'll never poison you, and stuff like that. So like it looks a little bad for him. But here's some reporting.
Someone in James Craig's office conducted computer searches about arsenic. The dentist created an Amazon account and ordered a vial of the poison. That came out during testimony on the fourth day of Craig's murder trial. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Sam Shocker. Craig is accused of lacing protein shakes with arsenic, cyanide, and a chemical in eye drops in the days before his wife Angela died in March of 2023. Kevin Bond from 9 News Investigates joins us from the newsroom. And Kevin, that was not the only revelation in court today.
Sam and Kim, it was not. In addition to more testimony about poisons, the jury also heard that James Craig had drugged his wife in the past. James Craig has been attentive throughout his trial, listening carefully to witnesses and showing emotion at times. Again today, the jury in his case heard extensive...
How many grams... So this is in search history. How many grams of pure arsenic will kill a human? Well, James, that's kind of murder 101 no-no, is searching on a computer that could be traced back to you because it's in your office. Are you meaning to say someone else in your office was searching for that?
Testimony about computer searches into poisons and an order for arsenic that was to be delivered to his home. Within a week, Angela Craig began experiencing unexplained symptoms, and the week after that, she was declared brain dead. The question for the jury to decide will be whether James Craig is guilty of the charges he faces. Allegations not only that he killed his wife, but that he tried to get others to create false evidence, to lie to authorities, and even to kill witnesses.
Oh my gosh, James, sheesh. What? So it's obviously extremely sad. Search queries for how to make murder look like a heart attack. And I want to find... He texted the woman that he was having an affair with. Maybe she will decide to stay gone for a long time. Let me see if I can find this. I won't. I promise. I want to find this quote. What? My computer's not working. He texts Kane, the woman he has an affair with, that his wife is at the hospital and says, just for the record, I will never drug you. Just for the record, I will never drug you. He returns to the practice. Craig said he wanted to be alone and came back. Angela still feels sick. Hopefully it's just... So yeah, there's all... You can look into it if you're more interested. Sorry, but there's a lot of smoking guns, I'd say. I think he's going to be convicted. But as a total side thought, what... all these people do this. They'll start having an affair. He met this other woman at a dental conference. Hot. And... then they start trying to murder their significant other. Hey, we have divorce. Like, just get divorced. It's sick. I guess they really, in their mind, they believe they'll get away with it. And they'd rather be the sympathetic person who lost a loved one and then fell in love again with somebody else than the person who broke off their marriage and they have kids. They have kids because of an affair. But think about, not just again, so tragic, but think about being in the headspace of James Craig and allegedly trying to get away with a murder. Do I have to say allegedly? Okay. Searching up how long it takes somebody to die. Well, I did it on my dental computer, so I didn't think they would find me. How would you do if you were trying not to get away with it? What would you do? You would get it Amazon to your house. You would try multiple times. You would have text records of telling somebody, I'm not going to drug you, don't worry. You would be looking up how long it's going to take. Did I already say that for somebody to die? And all these details and records of it being delivered to your house. everything wrong as he's trying to do a cover up, right? That's how badly the Trump administration's handling this. They're doing everything wrong as they're trying to cover this up. That's the connection. Did I just want to talk about this story? Yes. Is that how he connected the stories? Yeah, it is. And I hope you are okay with that. But they have handled this worse than James Craig in his attempted cover up, as he didn't realize you could find search records. That's like, have you never listened to a murder podcast? That's like the first thing they look for. Forensic evidence, and then was this person searching up, how do I kill my wife? It's bonkers. And the first thing you look at is, all right, which is the most depressing things about humans ever, which is the first question, if my true crime podcasts are accurate, the first question that law enforcement asks themselves when someone dies is, do they have a spouse and was it their spouse? And it's just like, oh, that's such a sad part of life. Like, all right, who's closest to them? Who purportedly loves them most? Because it was probably that person who killed them. Ugh. But then it's, I forgot my train of thought, but it's, did they search up this sort of thing? Oh, no, it's, was that person having an affair? Was it their spouse? And if they're having an affair, now it's really likely. It's just a crazy, crazy world. And Trump's trying to blame us, right, for Epstein. He's trying to blame us for this being a hoax, which doesn't make any sense, and it seems really incoherent, but, like, I kind of get it. He's saying maybe I don't agree with it, but I'm saying, like, at least the lie he's trying to tell has some thread, and it's they do the hoaxes, and this could be another hoax. Try to explain to me how this makes sense. We get blamed for so much. Now the left's being blamed for Trump's cankles. Is that the right word, Daily Beast? That's what they called it. Don't get mad at me. I don't know. I don't know if is that what a kank? Yeah? Okay. I just call them nice, thick ankles of a man, right? He has nice, thick ankles now. They just got really, really bloated. GOP senator blames radical leftists for Trump's cankles. Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville thinks it's not the age, the Big Macs, or notorious aversion to exercise that's making Trump ill. It's the radical leftists. The pressure on somebody like President Trump right now, not just from outside entities, all over the world, but also fighting the radicals in this country. Every day, it's almost a fist fight. So obviously, there's some editorializing from the Daily Beast making this silly, but he did cite the radical leftists, the radicals, that I guess were stressing out Trump so much that then his ankles turned the size of and I did it again. What was our one last time? Of a tree trunk, whatever. I'll think of funnier ones later. I let y'all down. Common among the elderly is a condition where the veins in a person's legs weaken to the point at which it's difficult for them to return blood to the heart. It can often result in swollen ankles, in turn explaining a recent viral photo of the president in which his lower legs indeed appear to be bulging from his socks. Yeah, that's a man's ankles right there. And that's our fault. We're stressing him out. Stop stressing him out so much, and maybe his ankles wouldn't be so large.